This is the third video in the sequence for assignment number 8. And what we're going to do next is put in a ceiling and a floor into this, a ceiling and floor finish. And to do that, we're going to start with the floor. That's probably the most logical. We're looking down here on floor plan. We can see this is the concrete slab being textured right here. And so we want to replace that with some kind of flooring that we want. And to do that, just so I can see this better, I'm going to select, hit the tab key until I can get the whole circle. Come on. Maybe I can just do it by hide in view. Yeah, okay, hide in view by category, and that should hide them all. Now, when you hide a tag like that by category, for instance, elevation tags are tags too. They're credit. So you'll notice now the elevation tags that showed us where the elevations were are no longer there now. Okay, so just remember that when you hide something by category, it like if I go in here and hide this wall right here by category, then it's going to hide all walls, okay, because that's the category it's in. So all the walls are going to disappear, not just that particular type of wall. Okay, so let's put a floor in here now. And to do that, we're going to go into Architecture tab and into then Floors here. Okay, and we're going to use an architectural floor. Okay, this type of floor is considered an architectural floor, and you can see the kind of little drop down help file. And so we're going to click on architectural floors, and it's going to go here. So what I want to do is add a terrazzo floor to this interior space. Terrazzo would be a nice looking, I think, floor for a community room. And so what we're going to do, if we go over here and we look at the list, we're not going to find terrazzo floors. And you'll notice that also structural floors have been mixed in here with a lot of the regular floors or architectural floors. And so what we're going to do is create us one. And probably the easiest thing to do is just select a generic. And so I'm going to select a generic floor. We're going to edit its type like we've done on other things before. And of course the type box is going to pick up. And of course what we want to do is duplicate it. And then I'm going to call this floor, dash finish dash terrazzo. I can't remember if it's 2 Z's or 1. I think it's 2. Terrazzo, actually, I think. Not terrazzo. And so now we'll use that. We're going to go in here and edit its structure. And you'll notice right now it's structural. I'm going to change that so that it's not structural. It's just a finish. Okay, and there's only going to be one boundary, and that's going to be the depth of the terrazzo. And let's assume that the terrazzo is going to be 1 inch in thickness. Okay, it probably would be closer to 3/4 of an inch. Well, let's just put 3/4 of an inch in there. Okay, it all depends on the aggregate that you use and all kinds of things like that. So you have to check out exactly what you're going to use. And so we're going to go into category here to select a material. And of course our material box is going to come open. And if we type in TARRAZO, you'll see terrazzo is here. Now in your startup file, it may not be there. Okay, if it's not, what it will be is it will appear down here in your other libraries. Okay, down here are your other libraries. Okay, and you'll notice under AEC materials, under flooring, you'll see there's terrazzo here, and we can select terrazzo and then upload it. And of course, it says, well, we're uploading. Do you want to replace this? Keep both, or? And I'm just going to say replace it. Okay, so that's just in case you don't have that. Then that's how you find additional materials tool. You can see there's a tile quarry. We could go in and just put in floors here or flooring. if we wanted to. And you'll notice down here there's bamboo, there's carpet, and some of these are good materials, some of them are really bad materials. I'd go find a product. A lot of your manufacturers now create material types for Revit so that you can just go download their materials, of course, and specify them so that they will get them put into the building. So anyway, let's go back to Terrazzo though. We're going to select Terrazzo. You'll see it's going to use this as kind of a rendering. It's a gray. We're going to, it's a white Terrazzo, I guess is what they're calling it, but it kind of looks gray to me. And so we're going to apply that and say, okay. I can't really go into materials. I mean, I could spend a whole hour video on just talking about materials and how to create materials and all that. Probably 2 or 3 hours of video. But anyway, so that's another time. Or you can go look up on YouTube if you're interested. So Terrazzo now 3/4 of an inch finish. I'm going to say okay. Finish for Terrazzo. I'm going to say okay again. Okay. And now the next thing we need to do is establish in the Z depth, in other words, where it's going to be. It's going to be located on level 1. Okay, it's going to be built from level 1 down. Okay, so if we want, oh, I take that back. Yeah, so it added 3/4 of an inch up from level 1, so that the bottom would be on level 1 and the rest. And we'll look in section just a minute and we'll see that. The next thing we're going to do is set a boundary here. You can do it in 2 ways, or 2 or 3 ways. You can, of course, draw individual lines. You can use the pick line tool. So if we want this interior wall here, we can say, yeah, pick that interior wall there, pick this interior wall here, okay, and then pick this interior wall here. And we probably should be locking these in case we did move. And once you've passed highlighted lines overlap, I created 2 lines there, not good. But I'm going to, it keeps adding lines there. That's going to give me problems later. I'm going to delete. Okay, so be careful about adding multiple lines. To lock a line, often you have to move it and bring it back. Okay, and then lock it. So anyway, and that's what I'm going to do here too, because that's good Revit. And then the next thing we're going to do is kind of outline these right here. I think the easiest way to do that is just with a pick tool and tell it where you want it to be. So I want it to be here. I want it to be, yeah, here. I want a line. Once again, I'm forgetting to lock these. I want a line right here, and we'll lock that. Okay. Now you'll see that line was continuous. Okay. Pick. Once again, I'm going to pick there, lock, pick there, lock. And once again, the advantage of this is if I make any changes, those changes are going to be updated. Okay. And so we've got a pretty good start right now, I think. And so the next thing I'm going to do is come in here and I'm going to do a break. Okay. Split with a gap. So I'm going to split this right here. Whoops. Did it gap? I can't see the gap. Let's try it again. Okay. Well, the easiest way to find out is just to trim it and see if can't keep elements join. Okay, unjoin element. I'm just going to trim these and then we'll come back and for some reason it didn't break it. I thought I could do that. Okay, I need additional lines here, so I'll come back to that here in a minute. That I go ahead and trim things that even look trimmed because sometimes they're not trimmed. Okay, So there we go. And then of course here and here. And once again, you pick the portion that you want to keep. That's critical. Okay. And then let's go back in here and finish this off. You got that line, and then we got that line, and then we got this line right here. That's okay, because I'm going to fix that in just a minute. It says I have overlap lines, and it's correct, but now I don't. Unjoin elements, once again, there. And you may have noticed I forgot to lock many of these. Okay. But now I've trimmed around the wall, except right here. I did that wrong. So I'm going to select that and lock it, and that, and lock it. And let's trim now. This to this, this to this, and this to that. Now I should have the perimeter of my wall. Fantastic. I think I've done it. I'll find out in just a second when I check this. If I get an error statement, that means I didn't do it. Okay. The next thing I really want to check is to make sure that it's sitting on top of that of surface like it's supposed to be in section. I can do that through my elevations here, since they do a kind of section cut, and you can see now I have this 3/4 inch right there floor covering of terrazzo. And what else? Really, that's it. I think we've got it all set up. The next thing we're going to do is add a ceiling in. We'll do a simple ACT ceiling first and go from there. Okay.